I'm going to share with you a mental trick that completely changed the way I play DDR. You ready for this? Here it is. Don't read the arrows. Don't read the arrows. That's right. Now, before you think, what the hell do you mean? How else would I know which arrows to hit? That's crazy. Well, I'll get into that in a minute. And yeah, it does sound crazy, but it'll make more sense when I explain it. Now, here's the basic concept. You hit the arrow when it reaches the target. Pretty simple. Now hit the arrow and get a marvelous. How do you do that? Hit it on time. How on time? When the arrow reaches within about a frame in the targets on time. And usually that time matches with the beat of the music. At least it should. But knowing DDR's history, a lot of the times it doesn't. When you're trying to match the timing of the steps by ear, it can turn into a guessing game, having to readjust your mental timing offset to match up with how off sync the song might be. So to solve that, instead of focusing on the arrows scrolling by, focus on the targets themselves. This technique is explained in a post by top DDR player Chris for Life back in 2019. He explains in the post, by focusing on the targets and how the arrows will line up with them, you'll be able to know exactly where the arrow needs to be for you to step and get that marvelous without your eyes drifting away elsewhere. It's pretty similar to a technique that I used to call horizontal reading versus pattern-based reading. That's something I used to use to help me parse patterns better in VMania 2DX. Instead of focusing on the moving notes, focus on a static part like the judgment line, or in DDR's case, the arrow targets. But wait, you're probably thinking, I can't read patterns that quickly. How am I supposed to know which arrows are coming? How am I going to know which judgment I got? I can't see that if I'm focusing on the targets. Well, for parsing patterns, you'll need to use your peripheral vision. And for judgments, you can tell from the color of the flash. The flash will correspond with the judgment that you got, i.e. white equals marvelous, yellow equals perfect, great equals green, or green equals great, etc. And just like everything else, when you're trying something you're not used to doing, it'll come with practice. Your timing and scores may take a hit, but as long as you're putting in the effort and focusing as much as possible on the targets and not wavering back to old habits, it'll become much more manageable. I know I was skeptical at first, but I kept trying it until it felt more natural. While Chris says he stares at the up and down arrows, I mostly look at the bottom of the down arrow. And if I'm playing a chart I'm not familiar with, I may lock in just above the judgment text. I'm still not exactly at the point where I'm staring exclusively at the targets, but moving my focus up towards the top of the screen has helped me tremendously. What it also has helped is make myself more aware of my foot placement and fix some of the directional bias I had for certain patterns. My steps and my footwork feel a bit more efficient. And if you'd like me to explain what directional bias is, did you know that DDR's button layout is asymmetrical? If you'd like me to make a video to learn more about this topic, let me know in the comments. Now, using this technique still requires some decent pattern recognition skills, but that can also come along the more you practice. And also, this tip may not work for everyone. At least give it a shot. And if it doesn't work out, at least you can say you tried. And if you do try it, let me know how it works for you. Happy holidays. Happy stepping.